towards our behavior, for you are the proof of how we betrayed her loyalty. Hush, child, the darkness will rise from the deep and carry you down to sleep. Child, the darkness will rise from the deep and carry you down to sleep. Guileless son, each day you grow older, each moment I'm watching my vengeance unfold. For the child of my body, the flesh of my soul will die in returning the birthright he stole. The darkness will rise from the deep and carry you down to sleep. Child, the darkness will rise from the deep and carry you down to
Good day, guys. How's it going there? Exciting stuff here. We're going to get started on Spoon River Anthology Act 2. Going to read some of that good stuff for our production in March. We are getting ready here plenty early at the start of November, but enjoying the initial read-through. We could do some more read-throughs after that and go to rehearsals. I probably will not be able to stream the rehearsals per se, but we'll see. But anyway, thank you guys for the fun stuff last night. Shout out to I Hate Toast TV and Rats of Ats for our first raids in months and months now. Much appreciated for that, and we had a really nice time, a bit of extra fun because of that. So thank you once again for those raids last night. I Hate Toast TV and Rats of Ats. We're carrying on here today for some good stuff, and once again we need just the final $5 donations for our next sub badges altogether. I'm going to begin the next 3 sub badges, so we got the first 3 months already, and the next will be 4, 5, 6 months. I think it goes up to 9 months or something. It's kind of confusing, but we'll get that when our next final $5 donation for a little more direct support for the Dragon's Roost as we continue the good fun. So hope to enjoy some of that. Looking good, and we shall be set there. But for now, we will carry on to a bit of Spoon River Anthology and read some of that before we get to other adventures today. Thinking Dishonored for sure, Action Adventure Wednesday, possibly play some Hunt off stream, maybe play a little on stream too though, same as last night, some pretty fun solo hunts there, and the trials, that was pretty decent considering the ping and the bounties especially, but yeah, it went pretty good, and quick play wasn't bad either, so pretty fun with that good stuff. Let us continue on here today for some other exciting action. Alrighty, we're just about set to go straight to Spoon River, Act 2. Let me recap where we left off here on Act 1 last time. The very final words we had, I'll just read the last 3 lines if you'd like, and then we'll pick it up for some of that and some other adventures here today. But welcome on back. Appreciate the lovely raids last night. Hope we get some more regular community, regular direct conversation, and while I'm reading, for example, I don't mind you guys chatting at any time. Really, you can chat anytime of anywhere in the Dragon's Roost. Really, literally any screen, anything. Even when I'm AFK, you can chat. So, just enjoy as much as you like. Hear a good conversation, good dialogue, and good fun with the community here. Our lovely Dragon Knights will be adding some more channel rewards soon as well. Try to encourage more of that activity participation after we get some fun gifts or sound effects too. But at least we have some fun interactive ones for now. But not 3, 6, 12 is a good start for now. We'll add our next 15, 3 more pretty soon here, so we'll have half a 30 Don't know if there's a limit to how many channel rewards you can have, but we'll definitely fill it up before long. Enjoy those Dragon Standards. We got that nice custom channel reward for you since early on. And, yeah, it'll be good stuff. So... curious, how does the create a poll channel redemption work now that I'm actually looking at that? Might have to make a separate poll, but I know how to make a poll from the settings. It just doesn't do it automatically from the channel reward. That's interesting. Alright, well, to recap us off, as I said, into Act 1 Spoon River. Let's take a look. Be brave, all souls who have such visions. As your body's alive as mine is dead. You're catching a little whiff of the ether reserved for God himself. All unclasp hands, spread out slightly and bow. Then they exit. End of Act 1. So we are straight on to Act 2. Let's take a look here. Literally about, yeah, halfway through, so pretty good balance of the intermission there. The acts are probably an intermission. And we are looking set for that. Alright, well, here we go, guys. Some other good adventures today, looking clear for tonight. Gets out a bit here before lunch break for some Spoon River Anthology. Other adventures tonight as well. But I think we had enough plugging, enough posting for the time being. Get the word out. And this is kind of the main focus I wanted to start with. So here we go. Act 2. The lights come up full, the actors walk on stage, stand at their benches and bow, then they sit. 3 Nights Drunk song, both singers. Boy and the girl. The first night that I came home so drunk I couldn't see, I found a horse in the stable where my horse ought to be. Come here, my little wife, and explain this thing to me. How come a horse in the stable where my horse ought to be? You blind fool, you crazy fool, can't you never see? It's only a milk cow your friend sent to me. I've traveled this world over 10,000 miles or more, but a saddle upon a milk cow's back I never did see before. The second night that I came home so drunk I couldn't see, I found a coat a-hanging on the rack where my coat ought to be. You blind fool, you crazy fool, can't you never see? It's only a bed quilt your friend sent to me. I've traveled this world over 10,000 miles or more, but pockets upon a bed quilt I never did see before. Third night that I came home so drunk I couldn't see, I found a head a-layin' on the pillow where my head ought to be. You blind fool, you crazy fool, can't you never see? It's only a cabbage head your friend sent to me. I've traveled this world 10,000 miles or more, but a mustache on a cabbage head I never did see before. And it's on to Judge Selah Lively. How are you doing, Mr. Isaac? Welcome on back. Singing a funny little song there, yes. That is called 3 Nights Drunk. It is that other traditional one you've heard plenty of times. What's up, silly Isaac? How you doing? Alright, on to the judge. On his knees behind his bench. Suppose you stood just 5 feet 2 and had worked your way as a grocery clerk, studying law by candlelight, until you became an attorney at law. And then suppose, through your diligence and regular church attendance, you became attorney for Thomas Rhodes, collecting notes and mortgages, and representing all the widows in the probate court. And through it all, they jeered at your size and laughed at your clothes and your polished boots. And then suppose you became the county judge, and Jefferson Howard and Kinsey Keene and Harmon Whitney and all the giants who had sneered at you were forced to stand before the bar and say, "Your Honor." Well, don't you think it was natural that I made it hard for them? How about that? Fire and blood, Isaac. But yes, winter's pretty soon, actually. Zilpha Marsh, actress 4. At 4 o'clock in late October, I sat alone in the country schoolhouse back from the road, mid-stricken fields, and an eddy of wind blew leaves on the pane, and crooned in the flue of the cannon stove, with its open door blurring the shadows. With the spectral glow of a dying fire, in an idle mood I was running the planchette. All at once my wrist grew limp, and my hand moved rapidly over the board, till the name Charles Gitu was spelled, who threatened to materialize before me. I rose and fled from the room bareheaded into the dusk, afraid of my gift. After that the spirits swarmed, Chaucer, Caesar, Poe, and Marlowe, Cleopatra, and Mrs. Surratt, wherever I went, with messages. Yeah, Isaac played some good Overwatch yesterday, finished our placement matches, glad to favor that. Daenerys, very true Targaryen, so go with her by default, I guess. Yeah, they're all interesting, more or less. I don't know if I have a least favorite character when I think of it, probably think of one. But, yep, I like any fans of Game of Thrones. I don't see much point of arguing, even though I put a lot of Instagram posts and people wanted to argue. I would just block them instead of rising to their nonsense. But it was good. But a Spoon River now, finished those comp placements yesterday. Glad to finish for Season 30. Pretty much mid to high gold or low gold. And we also had Hunt Showdown, good stuff last night for our 2 raids, Isaac, you were not here for. But I understand your stuff yourself. And Baldur's Gate 3, bit of good action with that. And we also had, the Hunt Showdown was good. Played some of that and some other games. Dishonored today, maybe some other Hunt. So yeah, if you're a big fan of Overwatch, you may enjoy some Hunt Showdown. Check that out on Steam. That would be good fun as well. Absolutely. Okay. Actor 1. Mere trifling twaddle. Charles Gitu indeed. You talk nonsense to children. And suppose I see what you never saw, never heard of, have no word for. I must talk nonsense when you ask me what it is I see. Circe Foot. Oh, don't worry, Isaac. I understand. I wanted to go away to college, but rich Aunt Paris wouldn't help me. So I made gardens and raked the lawns, and bought John Alden's book with my earrings, and toiled for the very means of life. It was just really exciting because it was our first raids in months, so it's a really exciting time to finally get that notification again, that alert. I wanted to marry Delia Prickett, but how could I do it with what I earned? And there was Aunt Percy's, more than 70, who sat in a wheelchair, half alive, with her throat so paralyzed when she swallowed, the soup ran out of her mouth like a duck, a gourmand yet investing her income in mortgages, fretting all the time about her notes and rents and papers. That day I was sawing wood for her and reading Proudhound in between. I went in the house for a drink of water. And there she sat asleep in her chair, and Proudhon lying on the table, and a bottle of chloroform on the book she used sometimes for an aching tooth. I poured the chloroform on a handkerchief and held it to her nose till she died. Oh, Delia, you and Proudhon steadied my hand, and the coroner said she died of heart failure. I married Delia and got the money. A joke on you, Spoon River. Mrs. Charles Bliss. Reverend Wiley advised me not to divorce him, for the sake of the children, and Judge Summers advised him the same, so he stuck to the end of the path. But 2 children thought he was right, and 2 children thought I was right, and the 2 who sided with him blamed me, and the 2 who sided with me blamed him, and they grieved for the one they sided with, and all were torn with the guilt of judging, and tortured in soul because they could not admire equally him and me. Now every gardener knows that plants grown in cellars or under stones are twisted and yellow and weak, and no mother would let her baby suck diseased milk from her breast. Yet preachers and judges advise the raising of souls where there is no sunlight but only twilight, no warmth but only dampness and cold. Preachers and judges. Far away from home. Oh, the night is cold, and there's no one here to hold. Far away, oh, so far from my home. Gone away, gone to stay for 1,000 lonely days. I'm so far, oh, so far from my home. All 4 actors slowly come down center. Actor 3 sits on an apron off stage. Actress 2 kneels to his left. Actor 1 and Actress 4 stand on either side of them. Through these eyes all I see is a lot of misery. Far away, oh, so far from my home. God, the silence is hell, and I feel I want to yell. I'm so far, oh, so far from my home. Pauline Barrett. Almost the shell of a woman after the surgeon's knife, and almost a year to creep back into strength. Till the dawn of our wedding, decennial found me my seeming self again. We walked the forest together, by a path of soundless moss and turf, but I could not look in your eyes, and you could not look in my eyes. For such sorrow was ours, the beginning of gray in your hair, and I but a shell of myself. And what did we talk of? Sky and water. Anything most to hide our thoughts, and then your gift of wild roses set on the table to grace our dinner. Poor heart, how bravely you struggled to imagine and to live a remembered rapture. Then my spirit drooped as the night came on, and you left me alone in my room for a while, as you did when I was a bride, poor heart. And I looked in the mirror and something said, one should be all dead when one is half dead, nor ever mock life, nor ever cheat love. And I did it looking there in the mirror. Dear, have you ever understood? The Village Atheist. Ye young debaters over the doctrine of the soul's immortality, I who lie here was the village atheist, talkative, contentious, versed in the arguments of the infidels. But through a long sickness, coughing myself to death, I read the Upanishads and the poetry of Jesus, and they lighted a torch of hope and intuition and desire which the shadow, leading me swiftly through the caverns of darkness, could not extinguish. Listen to me, ye who live in the senses and think through the senses only. Immortality is not a gift. Immortality is an achievement, and only those who strive mightily shall possess it. Mabel Osborne. Your red blossoms amid green leaves are drooping beautiful geranium, but you do not ask for water. You cannot speak. You do not need to speak. Everyone knows that you are dying of thirst, yet they do not bring water. They pass on, saying, the geranium wants water. And I, who had happiness to share, and longed to share your happiness, I who loved you, Spoon River, and craved your love, withered before your eyes, Spoon River, thirsting, voiceless from chasteness of soul to ask you for love. You who knew and saw me perish before you, like this geranium which someone has planted over me and left to die. Franklin Jones. If I could have lived another year, I could have finished my flying machine and become rich and famous. Hence it is fitting the workman who tried to chisel a dove for me made it look more like a chicken. For what it is it all but being hatched and running about the yard to the day of the block, save that a man has an angel's brain and sees the axe from the first. Schofield Huxley, Entire Company. God, ask us not to record your wonders. We admit the stars and the suns and the countless worlds. But we have measured their distance and weighed them and discovered their substances. We have devised wings for the air and keels for water, and horses of iron for the earth. We have lengthened the vision you gave us 1,000,000 times, and the hearing you gave us 1,000,000 times. We have leaped over space with speech, and taken fire for light out of the air. We have built great cities and bored through the hills, and bridged majestic waters. We have written the Iliad and Hamlet, and we have explored your mysteries and searched for you without ceasing. and found you again after losing you in hours of weariness. And we ask you, how would you like to create a sun and the next day have the worms slipping in and out between your fingers? Actor 1 and Actress 4 spread slightly and kneel. In the night, star reflect on cyclorama. Cyclorama. In the night, as I gaze at the stars in their flight, seeking answers above, seeking all that is right, although nothing is said in response to my plight, I can see many things that remain out of sight. Dippled the optician. Oh boy. Try this lens, what do you see now? Globes of red, yellow, purple. Just a moment, and now, my father and mother and sister. Yes, and now, knights at arms, beautiful women, kind faces. Try this. A field of grain, a city. Very good. And now, a young woman with angels bending over her. A heavier lens. And now, many women with bright eyes and open lips. Try this. Just a goblet on a table. Oh, I see. Try this lens. Just an open space. I see nothing in particular. Well, and now, pine trees, a lake, a summer sky. That's better. And now, a book. Read a page for me. I can't. My eyes are carried beyond the page. Try this lens. Oh, depths of air. Excellent. And now, light. Just light, making everything below it a toy world. Very well. We'll make the glasses accordingly. In the night, I can see many things that remain out of sight. Elijah Browning. I was among multitudes of children, dancing at the foot of a mountain. A breeze blew out of the east and swept them as leaves. I arose and ascended higher, but as a mist from an iceberg clouded my steps, I was cold and in pain. Then the sun streamed on me again, and I saw the mist below me hiding all below them, and above me was the soundless air, pierced by a cone of ice, over which hung a solitary star. A shudder of ecstasy, a shudder of fear, ran through me, but I could not return to the slopes, nay, I wished not to return. Therefore I climbed to the pinnacle, I flung away my staff. I touched that star. With my outstretched hand, I vanished utterly. For the mountain delivers to infinite truth whosoever touches the star. Mornings come, all singers. Mornings come, night is past, stars have disappeared. Sun will shine, darkness gone, now tomorrow's here. All the fear of the night melts away with dew, faces the day, go your way, seeking all that's true. The actors slowly return to their benches with the exception of Actor 1, who ends up in a standing position downstage in Area 1. Alexander Throckmorton. In youth, my wings were strong and tireless. But I did not know the mountains. In age, I knew the mountains, but my weary wings could not follow my vision. Genius is wisdom and youth. Amanda Barker. Willard got me with child, knowing that I could not bring forth life without losing my own. In my youth, therefore, I entered the portals of dust. Traveler, it is believed in the village where I lived that Henry loved me with a husband's love, but I proclaim from the dust that he slew me to gratify his hatred. Willard Fluke. My wife lost her health and dwindled until she weighed scarce 90 pounds. Then that woman whom the men styled Cleopatra came along, and we married ones and all broke our vows, myself among the rest. Years passed, and one by one, death claimed them all in some hideous form, and I was borne along by dreams of God's particular grace for me, and I began to write, reams on reams of the second coming of Christ. Then Christ came to me and said, "Go into the church and stand before the congregation and confess your sin." But just as I stood up and began to speak, Light goes up on actress 2. I saw my little girl, who was sitting in the front seat. My little girl who was born blind. After that, all is blackness. Lois Spears. Here lies the body of Lois Spears, born Lois Fluke, daughter of Willard Fluke, wife of Cyrus Spears, mother of Myrtle and Virgil Spears, children with clear eyes and sound limbs. I was born blind. I was the happiest of women, as wife, mother, and housekeeper, caring for my loved ones, and making my home a place of order and bounteous hospitality. For I went about the rooms and about the garden with an instinct as sure as sight, as though there were eyes in my fingertips. Glory to God in the highest. Girl singer hums first half of I See the Moon. God bless the moon. God bless the moon, and God bless me, and God bless the somebody I want to see. Alright, quick intermission. Be back shortly. Alright, sorry about that. Good to go. Sow took the measles. Let's take a look at that. Got my appointment. Good. Alright, let's take a look at what is next here. Great. No problem. How do you think I got on in the world? I got me a sow and several other things. The sow took the measles and she died in the spring. What do you think that I made of her hide? The very best saddle you ever did ride. Saddles and bridles and other such things. The sow took the measles and she died in the spring. What do you think that I made of her nose? The very best thimble that ever sewed clothes. Thimbles and thread and other such things. Sow took the measles and she died in the spring. What do you think I made of her feet? The very best pickles you ever did eat. Pickles and glue and other such things. The sow took the measles and she died in the spring. Well, that doesn't make much sense to me, but alright. Abel Melvini. I bought every kind of machine that's known. Grinders, shellers, planters, mowers, mills and rakes and plows and threshers, and all of them stood in the rain and sun, getting rusted, warped, and battered, for I had no sheds to store them in, and no use for most of them. And toward the last, when I thought it over, there by my window, growing clearer, about myself, as my pulse slowed down, and looked at one of the mills I bought, which I didn't have the slightest need of. As things turned out, and I never ran, a fine machine, once brightly varnished, and eager to do its work. Now with its paint washed off, I saw myself as a good machine that life had never used. Hod put. Here I lie, close to the grave of old Bill Pearsall, who grew rich trading with the Indians, and who afterwards took the bankrupt law and emerged from it richer than ever. Myself grown tired of toil and poverty, and beholding how old Bill and others grew in wealth, robbed a traveler one night near Proctor's Grove, killing him unwittingly while doing so. For the which I was tried and hanged. That was my way of going into bankruptcy. Now we who took the bankrupt law in our respective ways sleep peacefully side by side. Ida Fricky. Nothing in life is alien to you. I was a penniless girl from Sumum, who stepped from the morning train in Spoon River. All the houses stood before me with closed doors and drawn shades. I was barred out. I had no place or part in any of them, and I walked past the old McNeely mansion, a castle of stone mid walks and gardens, with workmen about the place on guard, and the county and state upholding it, for its lordly owner full of pride. I was so hungry I had a vision. I saw a giant pair of scissors, dip from the sky like the beam of a dredge, and cut the house in two like a curtain. But at the commercial I saw a man, who winked at me as I asked for work. It was Wash McNeely's son. He proved the link in the chain of title to half my ownership of the mansion, through a breach of promise suit, the scissors. So you see, the house from the day I was born was only waiting for me. Silas Dimmitt. It was moonlight, and the earth sparkled with a new fallen frost. It was midnight, and not a soul was abroad. Out of the chimney of the courthouse a greyhound of smoke leapt and chased the northwest wind. I carried a ladder to the landing of the stairs, and leaned against the frame of the trapdoor in the ceiling of the portico. And I crawled under the roof and amid the rafters, and flung among the seasoned timbers a lightful handful of oil-soaked waste. Then I came down and slunk away. In a little while the fire bell rang, clang, 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 and the Spoon River Ladder Company came with a dozen buckets and began to pour water on the glorious bonfire, growing hotter, higher and higher, till the walls fell in, and the limestone columns where Lincoln stood crashed like trees when the woodman fells them. When I came back from Joliet prison, there was a new courthouse with a dome, for I was punished, like all who destroy the past for the sake of the future. Intro by male singer on guitar, the walking bass. Einer Clute. Daily Fraser. Actress 2 plays on bench with actress 4. Einer Clute. Over and over, they used to ask me, while buying the wine or the beer, in Peoria first and later in Chicago, Denver, Frisco, New York, wherever I lived, how I happened to lead the life, and what was the start of it. Well, I told them a silk dress and a promise of marriage from a rich man. It was Lucius Atherton. But that was not really it at all. Suppose a boy steals an apple from the tray at the grocery store, and they all begin to call him a thief wherever he goes. Thief, thief, thief. The editor, Daisy Fraser. Did you ever hear of Editor Whedon giving to the public treasury any of the money he receives for supporting candidates for office? The minister. Did you ever hear of Reverend Pete or Reverend Sibley giving any part of their salary earned by keeping still or speaking out as the leaders wish them to do to the building of the waterworks? The judge. Did you ever hear of the circuit judge helping anyone except the Q Railroad and the bankers? The little boy can't get work, and he can't get bread without stealing it. Why, the little boy will steal. It is the way the people regard the theft of the apple that makes the little boy what he is. But I, Daisy Fraser, who always passed along the streets through rows of nods and smiles and words such as, "There she goes," never was taken before Justice Arnett without contributing $10 and cost to the school fund of Spoon River. Indignation Jones. Actress 2 remains on bench with actress 4 until introduced by actor 3. Male singer underscores on guitar with Spoon River music. You would not believe, would you, that I came from good Welsh stock? That I was purer-blooded than the white trash here? And of more direct lineage than the New Englanders and Virginians of Spoon River? You would not believe that I had been to school and read some books. You saw me only as a run-down man with matted hair and beard and ragged clothes. Sometimes a man's life turns into a cancer from being bruised and continually bruised and swelled into a purplish mass like growths on stalks of corn. Here was I, a carpenter, mired in a bog of life, into which I walked, thinking it was a meadow, with a slattern for a wife and poor Minerva, my daughter. Actress 2 stands and comes to side of actor 3. Whom you tormented and drove to death, so I crept like a snail through the days of my life. No more you hear my footsteps in the morning, resounding on the hollow sidewalk, going to the grocery store for a little cornmeal and a nickel's worth of bacon. Minerva Jones. Actress 2 moves to her area. I am Minerva, the village poetess, hooted at, jeered at by the yahoos of the street for my heavy body, cockeye, and rolling walk, and all the more when Butch Weldy captured me after a brutal hunt. He left me to my fate with Dr. Myers. Actor 1 rises. And I sank into death, growing numb from the feet up, like on stepping deeper and deeper into a stream of ice. Will someone go to the village newspaper and gather into a book the verses I wrote? I thirsted so for love, I hungered so for life. Dr. Myers. No other man, unless it was Doc Hill, did more for people in that town than I. And all the weak, the halt, the improvident, and those who could not pay flocked to me. I was good-hearted, easy Dr. Myers. I was healthy, happy, in comfortable fortune, blessed with a congenial mate, actress 4 rises, my children raised, all wedded, doing well in the world. And then one night, Minerva the poetess came to me in her trouble, crying. I tried to help her out. She died. They indicted me. The newspapers disgraced me. My wife perished of a broken heart, and pneumonia finished me. Mrs. Myers. He protested all his life long. The newspaper lied about him villainously, that he was not at fault for Minerva's fall, but only tried to help her. Poor soul, so sunk in sin he could not see that even trying to help her, as he called it, he had broken the law human and divine. Passers-by, an ancient admonition to you. If your ways would be ways of pleasantness, and all your pathways peace, love God and keep his commandments. The lights come up bright and full on the whole stage. Who knows where I'm going? Who knows where I'm going? Who knows what I'm after? Happiness or sadness, love or hate or laughter. Actress 2 plays this with actor 3 in his area. She vamps him, caresses him during the entire scene. The Sibleys, actors 2 and actor 3. Mrs. Sibley. The secret of the soil, to receive seed. The secret of the seed, the germ. The secret of man, the sower. The secret of woman. Reverend Sibley. I loathed her. As a termagant, as a wanton. I knew of her adulteries, every one. But even so, if I divorced the woman, I must forsake the ministry. Therefore, to do God's work and have it crop, I bore with her. So I lied to myself. So I lied to Spoon River. Yet I tried lecturing, ran for the legislator, canvassed for books, with just one thought in mind. If I make money thus, I will divorce her. Actress 2 returns to her bench. My rooster. Oh, I love my little rooster, and my rooster loves me. I'm going to cherish that rooster 'neath the green bay tree. My little rooster goes cock-a-doodle-doo, doodle-doo, doodle-doo. Oh, I love my little guinea, and my guinea loves me. I'm going to cherish that guinea 'neath the green bay tree. My little guinea goes pat-a-rack, but my rooster goes cock-a-doodle-doo, doodle-doo, doodle-doo. Oh, I love my little duckling, and my duckling loves me. I'm going to cherish that duck 'neath the green bay tree. My little duck goes quack, quack, my little guinea pat-a-rack, but my rooster goes cock-a-doodle-doo, doodle-doo, doodle-doo. Willie Metcalf. I was Willie Metcalf. They used to call me Dr. Myers because they said I looked like him, and he was my father, according to Jack McGuire. I lived in the livery stable, sleeping on the floor, side by side with Roger Bogman's bulldog, or sometimes in a stall. I could crawl between the legs of the wildest horses without getting kicked. We knew each other. On spring days, I tramped through the country to get the feeling, which sometimes I lost. Girl singer hums, I am. I used to lose myself as if in sleep, by lying with my eyes half open in the woods. Sometimes I talked with animals, even toads and snakes, anything that had an eye to look into. Once I saw a stone in the sunshine, trying to turn into jelly. In April days in the cemetery, the dead people gathered all about me, and grew still, like a congregation in silent prayer. I never knew whether I was a part of the earth, with flowers growing in me, or whether I walked. Now I know. I am, I am. I am the mountain, I am the sky, I am the swallow, I fly and I fly. I am the meadow, I nurse the lamb, I am the river, I am, I am. We're bound together, this world and me. I am a part of the things I see. I am of nature, it is of me. I'm of my maker, I am, I am. A horse named Bill. I had a horse, his name was Bill. He ran so fast he couldn't stand still. He ran away one day, and I ran with him. He ran so fast he couldn't stop. He ran into a barber's shop and fell exhausted with his eye teeth in the barber's left shoulder. Batterton Dobbins. Did my widow flit about from Mackinac to Los Angeles, resting and bathing and sitting an hour or more at the table over soup and meats and delicate sweets and coffee. I was cut down in my prime from overwork and anxiety. But I thought all along, whatever happens, I've kept my insurance up, and there's something in the bank, and a section of land in Manitoba. But just as I slipped, I had a vision. In a last delirium, I saw myself lying nailed in a box with a white lawn tie and a boutonniere, and my wife was sitting by a window someplace afar, overlooking the sea. She seemed so rested, ruddy, and fat, although her hair was white, and she smiled and said to a colored waiter, "Another slice of roast beef, George. Here's a nickel for your trouble." Flossie Cabanis. From Bindle's Opera House in the village, the Broadway is a great step, but I tried to take it. My ambition fired when 16 years of age, seeing East Lynne, played here in the village by Ralph Barrett, the coming romantic actor who enthralled my soul. True, I trailed back home a broken failure when Ralph disappeared in New York, leaving me alone in the city. But life broke him also. In all this place of silence, there are no kindred spirits. How I wish Deuce could stand amid the pathos of these quiet fields and read these words. Hortense Robbins. My name used to be in the papers daily, as having dined somewhere, or traveled somewhere, or rented a house in Paris, where I entertained the nobility. I was forever eating or traveling, or taking the cure at Baden-Baden. Now I am here to do honor to Spoon River. Here beside the family whence I sprang. No one cares now where I dined, or lived, or whom I entertained, or how often I took the cure at Baden-Baden. Frank Drummer. Out of a cell into this darkened space, the end at 25. My tongue could not speak what stirred within me, and the village thought me a fool. Yet at the start, there was a clear vision, a high and urgent purpose in my soul, which drove me to trying to memorize the Encyclopedia Britannica. Barney Hainsfeather. If the excursion train to Peoria had just been wrecked, I might have escaped with my life. Certainly I should have escaped this place. But as it was burned as well, they mistook me for John Allen, who was sent to the Hebrew cemetery at Chicago, and John for me, so I lie here. It was bad enough to run a clothing store in this town, but to be buried here? Ugh! Blackout. We now go back to area lighting. The meadow is flooded with the white daffodils. The brook babbles on as it flows through the hills. They hunt me wherever I roam. Spoon River is calling me home. No matter how far I may wander away, or what new land I find at the end of each day, I'm hunted wherever I roam. Spoon River is calling me home. Lucinda Matlock. Girl singer humming Obligato to Spoon River. I went to the dances at Chanderville and played Snap Out at Winchester. One time we changed partners, driving home in the moonlight of middle June, and then I found Davis. We were married and lived together for 70 years, enjoying, working, raising the 12 children, 8 of whom we lost. Ere I had reached the age of 60, I spun, I wove, I kept the house, I nursed the sick, I made the garden, and for holiday rambled over the fields where sang the larks, and by Spoon River gathering many a shell, and many a flower, and medicinal weed, shouting to the wooded hills, singing to the green valleys. At 96 I had lived enough, that is all, and passed to a sweet repose. What is this I hear of sorrow and weariness, anger, discontent, and drooping hopes? Degenerate sons and daughters, life is too strong for you. It takes life to love life. Alright, we are actually almost at the end. Petite the Poet, Actor 3. Seeds in a dry pod, tick, 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 like mites in a quarrel. Faint iambics that the full breeze wakens, but the pine tree makes a symphony thereof. Triolets, villanelles, rondelles, rondeaus, bellabades by the score with the same old thought. The snows and the roses of yesterday are vanished, and what is love but a rose that fades? Life all around me here in the village, tragedy, comedy, valor and truth, courage, constancy, heroism, failure, all in the loom, and oh, what patterns! Woodlands, meadows, streams, and rivers, blind to all of it all my life long. Triolets, villanelles, rondels, rondeaus, seeds in a dry pod, tick, 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 what little iambics, while Homer and Whitman roared in the pines. Anne Rutledge. Girl singer hums Spoon River. Out of me unworthy and unknown, the vibrations of deathless music, with malice toward none, with clarity for all. Out of me the forgiveness of millions toward millions, and the beneficent face of a nation. Shining with justice and truth, I am Anne Rutledge, who sleep beneath these weeds, beloved in life of Abraham Lincoln, wedded to him not through union, but through separation. Bloom forever, O Republic, from the dust of my bosom. Alrighty. Spoon River Reprise. But once having left, you can never return. There is no going back. There is only the yearn. You're haunted, you're hunted, wherever you roam. Spoon River is calling you home. For the river is time as it flows toward the sea, and in leaving its banks you are free, you are free. But you're hunted, you're haunted, wherever you roam. Spoon River is calling you home. Actor 1 crosses to Downstage Center. Actor 1. Good friends, let's to the fields. I have a fever. Other actors rise and join him. Girl singer continues humming till I think I'll sleep. After a little walk, and by your pardon, I think I'll sleep. There is no sweeter thing, nor fate more blessed, than to sleep. Here, world, I pass you like an orange to a child. I can no more with you. Do what you will. End of play. Okay. Pretty interesting. We'll continue to work on that. Got a good rehearsal for it tomorrow, so we shall see. Music and third-party materials, use notes. Yeah, expensive rights and such, but glad to read a bit of it for you here. Public property, and it is. And that is that. All right. Looks like Jurassic Park tomorrow, actually. Great to get back to that. And I will take this book, Spoon River, to rehearsal. And there we go. All right, hope you guys enjoy the Spoon River Anthology. That is it in its completion. We read all of Act 2 today. Act 1 in a previous couple streams. I believe I split it up into 2 streams. But pretty good fun. Alrighty, that is that. Your files are too powerful. Okay. Looking fine. Just a couple stream things here, and we are set. Alrighty, that'll do it for Spoon River. Pretty interesting. Definitely can see it a very nice variety and a collection there. However, I mean, the actors we will have for a couple nights, and it actually seems pretty good play to do only 2 performances on. It's kind of a short and sweetish little anthology there. It's not something you would perform for too long, like too many different performances. So, finish that play. I did enjoy it. It was nice to read a play for a while. We could get to some play writing here. That would be fun if we don't do that next. Let me check on time schedule for lunch break, and then we'll be back to main show tonight for some good games. But let me see if we want to get to games now or some more playwriting for my play, because it's been a little while. It is good to work on that when we can. Alrighty, seems like a good time to work on my play a bit. It has been a little while. We need to continue to fill it up a bit, and then there will be plenty of polishing to do down the line. But I at least want to do the main principle, the main basis here. So let me go ahead and open that up. See where we left off. It's been a few weeks, so let's see if we can find that and take a look. It's just this new office thing. I am very confused, but it's Word, but it's not. It's this new Word, this new Office. I'm so confused by it. Oh well, I've got it somewhere here. Yeah, version 9 I left off. Need Office, but this other Office only has version 5. I want the version 9. And freaking Microsoft Edge. Don't even know why that's on my computer, but some things came with it, you know. Alright, VidForth, best free DVD and video player. No thanks. Alright, let's take a look here. This is Nightmares in Progress, my second play. And we're working on it, developing it. So we have the cast, we have the settings, we have the scenes. We have the intro here. Pretty much complete intro, I think. At least for now. Then we have the Sisterhood. Scene 3. Let me look at scene 3. We gotta introduce some other characters here. And I can actually add to the persona, but let's go ahead and do a new file right now to save as. Make sure you have that all. Yeah, export as, save as. It is just confusing. How do you say? I wish I just had regular Word. Alright, save as. There we go. Okay. It's all fine. Nightmares 10. Great. Okay. I hope Nope, that's fine. And I usually just format all the text too, so we had a good amount of text today. Format that too. But yeah, looking at scene 3 here, that is for... I should probably label these by scenes too, not just bullet points. Scene 1, scene 2, scene 3. Okay. Break them up a bit. That should be better. So I had scene 3, courtyard, and yeah, it's the big courtyard scene. But I want to add some more characters here. We have the jesters. The lead jester, I think I'll name him Stink for now. Let's see if we can get more names and things. I don't even have a name for the main character yet, except the antagonist, so I don't know. But I continue to... Alright, so that is scene 2. I had not really finished this, just kind of progressed it, you know, so... Well, let's get started on scene 3. This is at the courtyard. There's a big injustice of some kind. And is this the meeting with the jesters, or is that later? I'm trying to keep this. Top of the tower, the priest confers with his cohort, so that's actually the top of Act 2. Scene 3. We'll maybe see them a little bit, and there's a great injustice committed on the people. Now we just have to figure out what that injustice is. Okay, so that is scene 3. Let's get started on that. Varkon. Yeah, prisoners lined up. Varkon stands to side of prisoners, making ready to address a smaller crowd in the opening. What is this footer nonsense? Get out of here. Alright, stage directions. Yeah, it makes sense. We read a play, we go straight to my play. That'll keep it fresh and easy flowing for how things... I mean, that's really simple stage directions and lighting for this one, so I do like how simplified it was. Some plays have such elaborate, amazing, you know, scenery and stage directions and action and stuff. This one you can really do very bare bones and still get all the art and the characters and the point across, so I do like to have it pretty simple sometimes, but there's time and place for really elaborate sets. I mean, musicals and other such would go really far out there, but it depends. So this one will have some decent costume settings. My play, at least in its true form, but we can always work with whatever budget or such, you know. Just hope to be able to show it or read it someplace. But it's my second play. The first play was well received, fun time for dramatic literature class. This is my first play outside of college, well, my second play ever, so pretty fun. Okay, so Varkon stands. What was that? I hit Alt-C. I was hitting the undo button. Redo. There we go. Alright, Varkon stands sides of prisoners, making ready to address a smaller crowd than the opening. My friends of faith, here lies betrayers of the light and the embodiment of all we seek to rebuke and repel. Yeah, maybe repel. My friends of faith, here lies betrayers of the light and the embodiment of all we seek to rebuke and repel. I can word that a little better, I'm sure. Let me see. My friends of faith, here lie betrayers of the light. Yeah, it's not lies. Let me try two plurals. Type. Here lie my friends of faith. That could be semicolon. Here lie betrayers of the light. We don't need it. And the very embodiment of all we seek to rebuke and repel. Crowd hisses or something like that. I don't know. We'll continue to work on that. Okay. Varkon. that. Get these other things. Okay. Friends of Fate, Hellish Trail, the very bottom of all we seek to rebuke and repel. Crowd hisses. And we can have prisoners. How do I unboldify it now? There we go. Prisoners. Groan or something. Apparently you, asterisks are hard to do. Oh well. Describe those as sound effects, basically. Hopefully that works well. That's where all the polishing will come in later, actually format things properly. But good for now. Alright, need little spaces there. That helps for readability. Okay. Barcon. Who is in this scene? We can establish that later, but maybe some of the main scenes for now. Really not too many characters so far, so okay. Barcon. Through the diligence and unyielding, unwavering loyalty, belief. It is through the diligence and unwavering belief of our let me see what they were called again. Forgot. Well, we'll figure it out. Of our, I'll figure out the name later. And we believe for holy order that these knaves. Oh my goodness, get out of here, neat office. It doesn't even let you do spell checks. I am really missing actual word right about now. Oh well. It is through the diligence and freaking neat office. Who ever heard of this? Oh well. It's good enough. Through the diligence and unwavering belief of our holy order that these knaves were routed out and further lies and darkness our kingdom. We must remain true to the champion's cause and allow no distractions to come between us. We shall make an example of these. I don't know, would we have our hero here at the beginning or at the end? Shall make an example of these. Betrayed. Alright, we'll see. And we have Act 2. This will be the end of Act 1. I'm just filling things here and there. Alright, Scene 1, Act 2. Let us begin with Stink the Jester. I have a little inspiration for this scene. Let me see if I still have it. Could just write it down for now and always polish it further later. But that is my notes so far. I have several things I was planning out. Let me see here. Well, here we are, friends. I brought you here for a specific purpose. Contain your lunacy until you understand the task I lay before you. I need some more spaces here. Certainly, O exalted one. Heller. Are you committed to the cause? Piece of crap. I can't believe it. Are you committed? What's wrong with that? Seems fine to me. Anyway, Heller to stink. Committed to cause. Stink. I will do what needs to be done. Though I'll need to return to my people before long. That's good. Barcon. You will go when I am finished speaking with you. Matters of the church surpass everything else in our empire. I'm sure. I'm sure that is your strong and firm belief, Lord. Farcon. Priest. We have our song. Whoops. Hopefully fine. I don't know what's happening. That's why I do multiple versions, because you can never tell. Okay. Make sure this song. Song so far. Alright, we are looking pretty good for that. Okay, be back in a sec. Alrighty then, looking fine then. Thank you again to Isaac Season for starting off our chat today. Let's take a look a little bit more here for lunch break, get ready things. Let's see. What else here? Look at this nonsense. Full version. No thanks. Games play for like hundreds of hours, hundreds of levels. I could have removed the ads. I don't even buy that, so I can deal with it. Wiping his brow with sweat. That doesn't make sense. Wiping his brow. That is covered with sweat. I guess that would work, but do not seek to unnerve me. Now go. Take your positions and prepare. Prepare for the. Trying to figure out this context. Okay, context here of Act 2, Scene 1. They're on the tower. In the dungeon. Yeah, something needs to happen at the end of Scene 3 where the hero runs away to the wild and is an open rebellion or such. The dungeons, the end, just the final scene. Okay. It's a nice project in any case. We'll see how well we can polish it up down the line, but we'll figure it out. There's that main song in the beginning. I don't think there's really many other musical parts to it, but not really that kind of play, so there's the big opening music in the beginning. The rest is pretty straight, I think. We'll see. Okay. Good enough for now. Okay. Let me think of what else here. Whoops! Something always getting dragged. Ugh. It's annoying. Why does it do that? Okay. That's fine. Just looking at something real quick. Okay. Sorry. I don't usually do that, but display capture sometime. Okay. The end of Scene 3, then he's gonna have to leave the Empire, make hero. And what is he planning now, the main overlord? Joined by the sister there in the wilds. but they need to have some kind of interaction before that in Scene 2 to interact in Act 2, Scene 2. So maybe I should go back to that for now. Let me think about that. Act 1. Let me think about that a bit. On Act 1, Scene 2. Okay, some pieces here, bits and pieces. Just going back and forth to fill them in here and there, but they'll all be finished in time. Alright, the hero enters the barracks. Know that you are an ally to the main. Sure. Righteousness. You wouldn't be fighting so hard. Making trouble if you didn't believe it was the right thing. Okay. Sometimes one needs to take a stand, even if he stands alone. Looks for the door. Those soldiers shrug him off and grunt. For such they go to him. We'll see. Crosses downstage, center to sisterhood. Go. Okay. It's a good place for now. Thinking of different things here. Let's get the 11th version. Cool. Where are my sisters? Sit. Keep those. Like to I got to get ready, so I'm going to leave it here. I would like to discuss something with your Alright, scene 11, looking good for now. I'm going to go ahead and copy all of that. Get it here for later. That is a good version for now. A few little changes. And we'll take a look soon. Alrighty, guys. Google is very gray today. We shall come back in a little bit then. Can find. The holidays are coming. The holidays are coming. Alright, and to be great. We just saved that work so far. Okay, fine. Yep. Alright, that is good for now. Okay, looking set then. Close that for now, it's fine. No, thank you for lifetime. Alright, catch you guys in a little bit. We'll pick it up for some fun games here tonight. Dishonored, Hunt, other good stuff. Catch you then, guys. Gonna be great. I will see you in a few. Thank you for Isaac starting off our chat tonight. Hope to see you guys tonight for some more good dialogue, some more good chats, and some great times. Catch you then, guys. Back to it soon. Catch you then, guys. Back to it soon.